I'm just chilling here. We've been doing a lot of meditation recently. Been much more disciplined with my path. I made an Instagram post that I was kind of catching up to where I felt like I should be most of the time, what I should consistently be doing all the time. So now I'm here talking with you guys. Hopefully I can help you in any way. There are so many small little aspects which we can examine, which we can improve on in order to make progress in our spiritual path and on our spiritual journey. And it is very important that we do so, because what else is more important? There's nothing else that is more important. This is the basis for your whole life, this short time that you have here on this earth. It is very important that we make the best possible use of it. So if you have any questions about how to do this, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help because I've been studying this for 10 plus years, been meditating for so long, and I've realized certain things about the world, about meditation, about spirituality, which perhaps not is that rare, but there's only 1% or so of the world, or I don't know, I'm making up random numbers, but a very low percentage of the world is religious or spiritual. Even a smaller percentage of that is truly spiritual, has truly embarked on these practices. And even a smaller percentage of that is genuine, understands the correct teachings, and even a smaller percentage of that has the necessary discipline. So all these factors have to align. And beyond that, if you have tremendous discipline, if you have extraordinary discipline, then you can become somebody special. So it's actually not that far off. If you have all of those factors are aligned for you, then spirituality, the culmination, the ultimate manifestation and goal of the pursuit of spirituality can happen for you. But you have to make that happen. You have to embark on this practice, on this path, and you have to take the necessary steps in order to get there. But it is possible for you. It is possible. And when we examine ancient texts, when we look at all the scriptures, when we look not just at scriptures, but when we look at people who have practiced, we look at what they've told us, what they've discussed, we have available their thoughts. Perhaps from many portions of their life, they wrote things and they understood things, they contemplated the universe. So we have that information available from thousands of years of history within mysticism, within philosophy, within spirituality, within religion. So that is available to us. Welcome Nugget, welcome Chibble. Let me know where you guys are from. So yes, this is possible for us, and I want to help you guys to be able to realize that, because as I was saying earlier, that this is possible for us. If even a couple things have aligned in our lives, we are capable of realizing this. It's not so far off. Okay, a lot of people from Florida, welcome from Florida. Aiden Bruner asks, are you Christian? I wouldn't call myself Christian, but I think that all traditions are far more similar than we are led to believe, that the practice of connecting oneself to the spirit is available for everyone. It is part of the nature of this creation, that God loves us. And this blissfulness, this love, this joy, this peace, the fruits of the Holy Spirit are available to everybody. Ultimately, Christ was spiritual. He was not a Christian. And he didn't teach a religion. He taught spirituality. So this is available for all of us. And you don't have to be Christian. You can be any religion. If you are connecting to God, connecting to that higher infinite energy, to that one God, whatever you want to call it, then that is available for you. It is available. And I want to help you guys get there. I want to help you guys realize that divinity within yourself, help you realize within yourself the divinity that is all around you as well. And to enter into that beatific vision, as certain Christian denominations would call it. Are you Jewish? I'm not Jewish, but I really appreciate a lot of Jewish mysticism. Kabbalah is very, very powerful, very, very powerful. I don't know as much about it as I would like to know, but I have tried to research as much as I can, because ultimately any mystical practice is going to allow us to connect to that divinity. And there's different streams within different religions, within Hinduism, within Judaism, within the Abrahamic religions, within Taoism. But it is about that. Ultimately, all religions, all teachings, all cultures, across all time periods, across all ages, is about connecting. That's what we all really want. We just want to feel connected. Whether that's to the universe, to each other, to ourselves, to the world around us, we just want to feel connected. Let me answer some of these comments. You so cute. Thank you, Zega. I appreciate that. The government is kind of corrupt right now. Yes, absolutely. Power absolutely can corrupt. I don't believe this statement that absolute power corrupts absolutely, but power can easily corrupt. So that's definitely an issue, and power is becoming more and more concentrated in the hands of few people. And we're entering into an era now where robotics, technology, AI, all this stuff is coming, and the world is changing, and it can go very, very downhill or very, very uphill. We can live in a very utopian society or a very dystopian society, but whether we like it or not, things are going to change. And so we need to prepare internally, spiritually, so that we have some sort of some strength within ourselves to deal with these situations which are coming in the future. I hate Christmas, I hate Jesus, I hate God, I hate this godless time with no hope, no love, no fam, so fuck this life. Yeah, we can feel like that at times, right? We can definitely feel like that at times, and let me address that more. But first, let me read these comments, and I'll get to your topic, and we can talk about that for you. But aren't Jews only allowed to eat certain foods? Yeah, there's many different commandments which different traditions, different religions have tried to follow. And basically, all of these commandments, all of these practices, these disciplines, these undertakings which we can go to try and get that connection, they're different across different religions and different traditions, but they're still aimed at that goal. So usually they have certain reasonings that it might affect one's being in certain ways if one were to follow or not to follow those things. A lot of the stuff in Judaism was aimed at purity, was aimed at trying to create that purity within oneself, like many other religions as well. Zega says, I from Ninja. What is Ninja? Like Nigeria? Is that what you're trying to say? I don't really know. I eat apples. That's good. It's good. I guess, yeah, fruit is good. Things will most likely get worse. Well, I hope not, but yeah, maybe. So let's address your question now, Marcus. Marquez, 2608. Yeah, sometimes we can feel in despair. We feel like everything around us is going bad. Everything inside of us is all going wrong. But that's why we have to discipline ourselves. And why am I saying that? If we don't find discipline, if we don't find some habitual way in which to act within our mind and our body, if we let our mind and our body just run on its own, then it is going to go in all different directions. It's going to do all sorts of different things. Ultimately, if we want freedom, inner freedom, even external freedom, we actually find that through discipline. And it's kind of a contradictory, kind of a paradoxical kind of situation there. But that is ultimately how it works, that we need to find discipline. And yes, we live in a godless time, and that is ultimately awful. It's very sad, but it's also for our benefit, because that means that we have the potential in this day and age to help a lot of people, to serve a lot of people, to be a light unto others if we find that light within ourselves. And so there's lots of pain and struggle and strife, but in that pain and struggle and strife, there's also a lot of opportunity for us to find that light within us and find that light in other people and be a light unto the world. Things will most likely get worse. Yes, that is very possible. I've seen lots of shows and TV shows about potential dystopian futures with all the technology that is, all the advancements in technology that we are on the brink of, and it's very scary. It could also be very paradisical, I don't know. But so yeah, we can't really know for sure what is going to happen in the future. But what we do know for sure is that we have to connect to ourselves. We have to make our mind, our body, and our spirit strong, so that no matter what is happening in the future, we have that resolve in order to persevere, in order to serve others, in order to actually honestly just enjoy our life. That's really what spirituality is about in its essence. It's about rising ourselves up to proximity with that creator, to, or that infinite energy, or however you want to describe it. Living in accordance with nature, which is synonymous with reason, and striving for what the philosophers called the highest good. Ultimately, if we are reasonable, if we are intelligent within ourselves, then we should understand that we should strive for what is best for ourselves and what is best for everybody else. And so when we have some intellectual understanding of that, when we have learnt about that, then we can do the practices necessary in order to bring that reality into reality, to bring that this concept of bringing heaven down to earth. That's what we want to manifest within our world and in our external world even as well. And this is possible because it's been discussed by philosophers, by saints, by teachers, and there's different flavors of that. There's different flavors of God, of that infinite union, just as there's different flavors of fruits and vegetables and food and whatever. There's different flavors of the infinite, and it's been described and talked about. There's such a vast amount of dialogue on this subject. And so we can read this, we can learn about this. We don't have to even contemplate these things for ourselves, because there's been so much work done that we can stand upon the shoulders of giants and learn from other people about these subjects. And what else is more exciting than this infinite energy, than connecting to the highest thing, connecting to God, which is the ultimate, most beautiful, most enjoyable, most pleasant reality. You know, there's this idea that yogis or spiritual people don't like pleasure, that all of the pleasurable good things are what is bad. But actually, that's completely contrary to the reality of the situation. Actually, it's that we don't settle for lower pleasures. We see that these pleasures of sex and food and these material pleasures are very nice, very pleasant and necessary and good, but that there are higher pleasures, like the pleasure of emotion, of love, of joy, of being around people, and higher pleasures than that, the spiritual pleasures, the pleasure that the sukha, or the peaceful bliss that we can find within meditation that surpasses any other pleasures. So there's so many advantages once we understand this spiritual worldview. And then there's so many, and we can realize these advantages when we take practical steps to establish some sort of discipline within ourselves so that we can live that life, in accordance with all of those virtues, in accordance with what all of the saints and teachers, what they all agreed on. And this is what is called the perennial philosophy. So I'm really going on a spiel here. So let me know if you guys have any questions or any comments about anything that I'm saying. So if you have any comment or questions, because I want to help you guys realize this for yourself. I want you guys to live in this heaven on earth and be able to share that and spread that with others. And that is ultimately my goal right now here on as a being, to do that, hopefully. Because ultimately we live in times of darkness. We really do live in times of darkness. There is so much suffering, there is so much pain, there is so much delusion, illusion, there's so much numbness, there's poison in the food. Really, there is. The pharmaceutical companies and whatnot, they have numbed us. And in our ideology, there is poison. They have blinded us to the spiritual realities, which are real. I'm not saying the material realities aren't real or that science is wrong, it's not. But included within that, there is spiritual aspects of reality, which you could call the more energetic aspects of reality, the more subtle aspects, the more mental aspects, which are real. And these being ignored within our education system and all of the different ways in which we are unable, because we have been manipulated and controlled and subdued by the government or by certain bodies which want to control us. We have been numbed because they need slaves, they need society to be controlled in certain ways, which makes sense because they need workers, they need, in order for the government and for the countries to function as how they have and to function harmoniously in this current way in which they function, they need to control the people, they need to subdue the people, they need to numb the people. And so this is not some conspiracy, actually. I'm not really discussing about any conspiracy or anything like that. But if you look at the food and what they put in it, you can see that this is just evidently true. It's right there on your ingredients label. And there's so many different ways, like I was saying earlier, with the ideology, with how we are raised, with our education. And ultimately in the West, there has been such a history of this darkness, and it is continuing on. And so from our parents, from those who we are supposed to look up to, this has just continued, where, you know, our parents went through a lot of darkness, and that passed on and passed on. This is the kind of things that we've also inherited. And the Christians or the Catholics say that this is original sin, that there was some original thing that went wrong. But ultimately, it's just human ignorance. It's human darkness. Ultimately, knowledge is power, and knowledge can enlighten and awaken our intellect through the contemplation upon these higher divine realities, as Plato has discussed, all these philosophers, all these religious teachers and saints and prophets. And so when we understand that and when we practice that, then we can experience that, and then we get more and more intuition, more and more insights, and are related to that. And then our whole worldview becomes transformed. Our beingness is transformed. You could say our soul is transformed. Our mental paradigm in which we function in, it begins to exist in a way that previously beforehand we were would have seemed impossible or just extremely unfamiliar, you could say. Yeah, so lots of problems in this world, and that means lots of solutions, because they are there and they are out there. but it's just a matter of practicing, of teaching, of exploring, because there are so many texts, so many occult books, hidden scriptures, deeper understandings of Bible, Quran, the Tao Te Ching, of all of these texts that we can use to develop our intellect, develop our own understandings. And ultimately, nothing is more important at this time where we're entering an age where society can go down two possible paths, or we can enter into a very dystopian world or into a very utopian world. And so we need to very carefully think about how we want to spend this short amount of time that we have while technology is advancing so rapidly, and this short amount of time that we have on this earth. So we need to now, more than ever, develop this discipline within ourselves. Now, more than ever, be an embodiment of light and radiate understanding of these ideas onto others, and radiate this hope of the potentiality for us to become somebody different, to become somebody special. Ultimately, all of these sages and teachers and gurus of past ages were no different than you or I. They were simple humans who had these understandings, who came to this knowledge and came to these conclusions and to these realizations about the nature of the universe and the secret workings, the inner workings, and how we can utilize those for one's gain and for service to others. So this is ultimately what we need to do in this day and age. And so that is why I practice these practices of meditation, of tantra, of yoga. It's why I explore these other teachings of Kabbalah or different mystical traditions, so that I can more and more deeply understand the own tradition in which I exist, and expand my horizons and expand potentially and hopefully that light which I wish to envelop me, because that is naturally what we desire as a human being. We desire for, our animal nature, the nature in which we inherited from the very beginning, from before we were even what you might call human. Through the process of evolution, we were always seeking for pleasure, seeking for energy, for food, and running away from pain and death, and running towards light, and always seeking to grow, expand, procreate. And as we've evolved, we can now seek that good consciously and in different ways, rather than it be a natural instinct. And so the more conscious we become, actually, the more infinitely we can grow. We can grow ad infinitum if we truly spend the time and effort in developing that consciousness, in developing that positive mental ideation, that letting that cosmic flow which exists within the grander cosmos, letting that flow through us, because that is possible, and it is not something that we should believe or not believe, but rather it is something that we can either practice, we can practice, and something that we can experience for ourselves. And that is the ultimate teaching of spirituality, that is to uplift ourselves through mental discipline, through meditation, through affecting the energies of our mind, body, and spirit, to make them congruent with the greater geometry of the cosmos. The Taoists described us as a microcosm, a small reflection of the greater macrocosm. This is the star in man as I believe it might have been Leonardo da Vinci who coined that term and discussed that term. This is the star in man that is present in us, and this is also what the alchemists described, the star in man, these different stages in which we can go through it, through spiritual, through general purification of ourselves to transform us into a more perfected, more aligned version of that greater macrocosm. And this is all possible. So I think I'm going to end this live here. So if you guys listened, enjoyed, I appreciate you guys sticking around. Make sure to subscribe. Go check out the Discord. Become a part of this community, which we are going to build and grow into something profound. So get in early now. Become an early practitioner, an early learner and explorer, and potentially a teacher, and get in on the ground foundations. So yes, go explore the community, everything else, and as always, ad astra.